Long ago, there was a girl. This girl was written into the stars. Her name was Psyche. Psyche, a princess so beautiful that the people loved her. She drew worshippers away from Aphrodite's temple, sparking her ire. As a result, Aphrodite sent her son Eros to make Psyche fall in love with a monster. In the middle of the night, he snuck into her room, prepared to prick her with one of his arrows, instead accidentally hitting himself while stunned by her beauty. Still, his mother's plan needed to go forward, and Psyche's parents went to the oracle. The oracle told them they must leave Psyche on top of the mountain for the monster to collect her. Her parents cried while her sisters hid their glee at their younger sister being rid of. The next day, Psyche was led to the mountain to await her fate. The sky darkened, wind gushed. All of a sudden, she was swept into the air, the peak she was chained to getting smaller and smaller. She looked into the face of what she assumed was a monster and saw a god, Zephyr. Psyche was scared and confused, having no other option but to hold on and look at the view. Soon she saw a beautiful palace so golden as if lit by the sun god himself. Psyche was stunned by the palace that she was being flown down to. Her feet touched the ground, and she felt she was brought upon the Elysium fields. She was in the peristyle of the palace, surrounded by wondrous plants and a glorious pool. Soon she heard a voice. Psyche was curious where the voice was coming from and where she was. She assumed the voice was her new husband, the monster she was sent to. Psyche was led to her room by invisible servants. As the days went on, Psyche continued to explore the palace and converse with her invisible husband, learning that she can never see his true form, or he will have to leave her forever. Though she was growing to like the palace and her new husband, she was often lonely and soon begged her husband to let her sisters visit. He agreed on the condition that she be wary of them, due to their envy and that they will place doubts in her ear. Psyche was ecstatic and had a whole day planned to show her sisters her new home. When they arrived, Psyche's eldest sister's eyes flared with envy at seeing her youngest sister dressed in silks and jewels when she expected her to be in rags and imprisoned. The middle sister wept and hugged Psyche, glad she was alive. The older sister, after hearing all about Psyche and her invisible husband, began to plot the idea in Psyche's head that her husband was a monster waiting to kill her. Once her sisters left, the doubt that her husband warned her about began to fester. That night, Psyche went into their bedroom with an oil lamp and dagger, prepared to see her husband and defend herself need be. As she was leaning over the bed, she froze in awe. The lamp glowed on the most beautiful man she has ever seen, but a drop of oil slowly fell from that lamp. The hot oil woke Eros up, shocking him at his wife's betrayal and mistrust. He revealed himself as the god Eros and left his wife, feeling broken. Psyche herself was in shock, heartbroken. She left the palace, searching for days for her husband before finally arriving at Aphrodite's temple. Psyche begged Aphrodite to bring her to Eros, but Aphrodite refused, a furious mother looking to protect her son. She deemed that if Psyche truly wanted her son and to gain his trust back, she must complete 4 tasks. And so, Psyche left with determination like no other. The first task given by the goddess of love was to sort a pile of seeds. Seeing Psyche overwhelmed but determined to complete the task, a colony of ants came to help her finish. The next task was to collect fleece from the golden sheep. This one was more challenging, as the animals on the island were vicious and dangerous. By the edge of the water, reeds whistled in Psyche's ear, telling her to collect the fleece caught in them. The third task was to travel to the underworld and fill a crystal vessel with water from the spring that leads to the river Styx, surrounded by dragons. Wanting to help the wary princess, Zeus sent his eagle to collect the water with her. The final task Aphrodite gave Psyche was to go back into the underworld and bring her a box of Persephone's beauty cream. In despair at the thought of never seeing Eros again, Psyche was ready to throw herself from a tower. But the tower speaks to her, telling her that though she will encounter lost souls on her journey down, she must ignore them and keep going. Psyche went to the underworld, retrieving the cream from Persephone. On the journey back, Psyche's body begins to grow old. Fearing Eros will no longer love her, she is unable to resist temptation and opens the box. Eros, having broken out of his mother's temple after hearing what she was doing to Psyche, flew to her. He found Psyche in an eternal sleep at the bottom of his mother's temple. Aphrodite, seeing the heartbreak of her son and how much Psyche means to him, begged Zeus to help Psyche and make her a goddess. Zeus agreed, and the gods celebrated the wedding of Eros and Psyche, who now had wings so she could fly with her husband. Well, the rest is story for another time.